welcome to this week's WPC. This week we're going to be talking with all the CEOs and XOs about what we normally talk about in meetings and stuff, so you guys get to see what we talk about. Hopefully that influences how you guys see us. I'm joined today by Second Lieutenant Lemon Party.
Good eye.
Our 40 cal.
Yep.
Archer.
Hello.
Raggy.
Hello.
Tickle.
Hello.
Jim.
Hello.
Thorn.
Hey.
And Unlucky.
Hmm.
So going on, what we overall, what are you guys' thoughts on the battalions as a whole?
I think they're improving.
Yep, 21st is getting there. More members, please.
My squad's dead, so.
Sigma Squad is dead. Archer, are you planning to do anything about that, or your plans for Sigma?
At this point, I have no idea. This will be like my third or fourth time trying to build up Sigma from the ground up, so I'm getting real tired of it.
What happened to Plo?
He's too focused on Jedi. He couldn't give enough time to Sigma, which is understandable.
Wait, who else do you have? It was
Her-
Space got was removed. Who
Yeah,
else?
because he's a cunt.
I
Hold
got
on.
first hands on that yes the other day.
Right now, it's me, my EXO is fucking Deuce, a trainee called Leaf, and Ion, and right now, Ion seems to be the most active person, other than
He's a good guy, from what I've seen.
He's alright.
Something about Leaf real quick.
go for it. Any
As
kind of
long as it
criticism.
says, as long as it stays constructive.
Yeah. Overall, he's good as a trooper, but maybe work on him with, staying in character more often. Because he has had some moments where he just breaks out.
You see, I would, but I have no chance to do training with any of my battalion because Deuce and Leaf hardly ever get on. That's why Leaf has been in for like almost a month and is still a trainee.
I think that's a good segue for training. What kind of training is everyone going for and stuff like that? For like specializations that you guys are going. So like for example, Braggy, what are you guys doing for your Jedi or your Force user counters?
Well, personally, I'm still struggling a bit to get a majority of the people on at a set time so then we can actually do the trainings. But I mean, usually we take the Jedi that are affiliated with us and we basically just go against each other and see how we can improve.
I mean, 21st are doing. Obviously, I'm lacking numbers, as always. We've nailed our formations that we have to practice. It's just getting people on. Because at the moment, it's like a few of us. I mean, some people are real. One of my got a Jedi now, so he's focused between the two. It's just sort of now we're leading, I need to try and put it into combat scenarios, like defending a certain location, or I say location or place that's built for us. Because our formations don't work offensively; they only work defensively. So I need to sort of work it out on how we do a training session that involves combat for us at the moment. And it would be nice if my CO came on to observe. Just saying.
And we could be doing some joint training with that together. That way you have the defensive, we have the more offensive.
Yeah.
I think we need to do some more joint trainings because I think we all can agree that most of our regiments are lacking in people who get on.
I mean, even if it comes to even if it comes to 327th and 21st doing defense and attack, so one could work on defense against a player, and then the other one can attack a player, and that might improve everyone to help them navigate. Because as I said, what we're usually shooting at is static targets, which doesn't help defending as much as a target that's moving and continuously accurate firing at you.
Yeah.
Also, with all these buffs coming in, and everyone has their own little distinct thing to them, like 104th is search and rescue and hostage negotiations. We're not always going to be needed for those type of certain jobs, but because of our buff that we're going to get, which is speed, we could also be used as flankers. We can just flank around because we're so fast, or we're going to be fast. We can be used for different roles, and that goes for other people, other battalions with different kinds of buff that will help them also fill other roles that aren't exactly lined up for them.
Yeah, I mean, because yeah, carry on, Braggy.
I think that also with the trainings, we're also going to need to see like how much the buffs will actually help us.
Oh, what's the
Yeah.
buff you're gonna receive, Braggy, for the 501st?
I have to go look that up again.
Yours
Oh,
is
God.
armor and speed, isn't it?
It has something to do with Jedi. Or Sith, rather.
Who has
Well,
extra ammo?
That's what they're gonna be doing, but what buff are they
What-
gonna receive to their stats?
21st is health, armor, fire resistance, and magazine size.
Something we could use for like 21st and also through 27th. I know they're getting something kind of similar. You guys can use for breaching because you guys are gonna be a little bit more like tanky. You guys can be the ones breaching in first and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe y'all should have asked for like full auto shotguns.
Hell
That'd
yeah.
be OP.
That braggy.
Or yeah, close range.
Rest in peace, CQC.
We need a mid-ranged weapon for CQC.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say he's working on, or is going to at some point work on a CR2. I think so that way it's gonna be like less
I
accurate.
think
than the
that while it's
15S
still
and
in the
more
works,
than that.
though, I think that while it's still in the works, we should have like a DC-15S.
I mean, I'm not gonna just downplay, but honestly, I think just having a pistol would be better because having two primaries isn't really. I mean, I'm just saying that it'd be better if you just have a
I
shotgun
mean, yeah,
and a
and
pistol
we
because in
used
close
to have the
quarters,
pistol.
yeah.
We used to
But
have the pistol.
would it be better if they brought it that back instead of just giving you DC-15S? Because then what's the point?
True,
Take-
true.
Taking a step back with the players, I think 327th and Shock have been doing a good job with like retaining players, and I think that's partly due to the community that's based around those two cultures. If you work on building up the community inside your own battalion, you're more likely to get those players to stay. Because we don't really have like a big battalion anymore, but we just have the same players getting on every day.
Yep.
Particularly your mic.
Yeah, same with the 104th. We lost all of Jaro's squad. Who knows what happened to them? Honestly, it just one of them actually just disappeared off the face of the earth. One of them's sick. The other two are just not playing. But the people who are staying are consistently our reverends. For example, they're consistently getting on basically every single day. Ilya, Bork, Tickle. It's all about if making friends in a way. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but if they feel like welcomed and you're kind of friends with them, then they're more likely to stay.
Man, friends didn't get people to stay on 187th when I was the CO.
Rest in peace.
Well, the problem with that nowadays is Gmod's getting older and older by each day going, and the fact is the player base is going down like any other game that's going to come. Gmod obviously is losing its player base, especially in Star Wars RP, and obviously growing in other areas like Dark RP, such as. But I think it's more of the thing where Toron said, yeah, having close group is nice, but take example my regiment. I have a good group of guys who are coming on, but due to personal circumstances, they just cannot get on maybe exams, school, personal life like jobs and just moving in general. And I think that right now it might be look tough if we're in a slump, but eventually it'll get better because just circumstances now.
I think it's mainly because of the time area we're in. We're in term time for schools and everything. So as soon as a holiday comes along, even if it's just a week or two, that will bring a bit of a player count on. And when the player count comes back on for a few weeks, that'll increase more people to come on. And then summer holidays, that'll bring people in.
Yeah, it is the middle of the school year.
Yeah, and a lot of my guys, their semester just started, and they do sports. One of the reasons I've been on lately, and I will admit to that, I have been active as lately because I have school/sports, college stuff to deal with that I do not have as much time to deal with Gmod that I used to. So, hopefully, next month or two, I will be getting more active in that sense, but be more active in weekends especially.
And keep in mind, you guys are the central HUD of the community, of your little individual communities. Every battalion has that one person where they go to, and that's why they get on. I know in some of us a little backwards, like 327th, a lot of them are very close with me, and that's why they get on. Shock has a great reputation with Thorn. A lot of Shock love Thorn. That's what we need to be building within our players. And then you also need to be on in order for that to be as effective.
And to be fair, though, a lot of my guys I've known for like 4 years, so that's kind of why they stay on. But yeah, you kind of just have to, once you get to know some of the people, and it becomes less about, oh, they're a higher rank or whatever, then you should follow them. Then it's more like a friendship, and you've gone through things and stuff and still stay together, then you can kind of work better with each other, I feel like. But it kind of just depends on who you have. If some people just don't have commitment to play.
One thing I also want to add on to that is that your game night was a great idea. I think it was a very good idea to bring not only your battalion but a lot of people. Well, I haven't personally been in one. I will say that.
One tonight, so up
But
to you if you want to go.
Yeah, I usually play with other people,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's besides the point. I think it was a great idea to at least get the community and other battalions together in one little common area, and I just want to say that was a pretty good idea.
Just some of the bear in mind, some of the EU players over here can't join.
No, join on the SCP stuff.
No, you're at 3 a.m. for me.
Ooh. It's just harder because we don't want to push away from the server.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand.
So we try to do anything when the server starts to die. So we usually push for doing it on weekends and stuff because that's when we can get like people that can stay up later or you're done at work or whatever or school.
Yeah.
But we can work with event masters and all that to kind of push. Maybe instead of doing an event, we go off, an off server kind of thing or something. I don't know. It's hard to do it without. It's hard to keep the community. The entire community, including EU and people that either can't stay up or like that, when we don't want to make the server look dead.
Even if it's not a different game, I mean, even if you just jumped on Trouble in Terrace Hound or Prop Hunt with a server, or even if you just found a server, just get everyone on it. It's only a quick swap there from Renegade to Trouble in Terrace Hound or Prop Hunt.
Yeah.
One other thing that we can go over is how are we all doing? Is there anything that you feel as a whole that we can be working on, or as individuals can be working on?
I would actually love some constructive criticism. If you could all just lay on your honest opinions for me, that would be great.
Who'd you play as?
That's Archer Sigma's.
I got one thing to say. I know you just don't.
Your mic.
Oh, let me just. Is that better?
Yep.
All right. So since I've known you for a long time, we've been friends. Just focus on not being so edgy, I guess you could say. Be more calm. Give me a second.
All right, I'll take over for it there. One thing that I've noticed, Tickle, is you are a total hit or miss. When you're serious, you do a great job with training, and you know exactly what to do, and you do a great job. The second you get bored, though, you just start I'm gonna go do whatever I want, and it can cause some tension between some other battalions.
Not gonna lie, that is very
Your mic. Your mic, Tickle.
It's all staticky.
Anyone else have anything? Or here comes Unlucky again.
Yeah, sorry, I was cut off. Yeah, I was just saying that you need to calm down sometimes. You just seem like you're under a little too much stress when you deal with your people. Don't, just don't go above and beyond. Just do what you gotta do, man. Just don't stress yourself out, because I can tell you're stressed when you're talking to people, and you just obviously don't look like you're in the mood for it. But honestly, just take it easy. If you need a break, just take it. Don't be so focus on trying to develop your squad again. Like Sigma, you said you were having pains about that, especially 187th. You're having trouble with that. Just don't stress over it, man. Just let it blow over time. It'll come back. Just for now, it's certain circumstances, and they'll change. So don't worry about it, man. Just chill out a little bit. You'll be fine.
All right. Anybody else got any criticism for me?
I don't see much, so probably because of times.
Honestly, I
can't-
don't
I
see
can't
much.
say.
I can't give you any criticism either.
And just for the record, since it goes Mike saying his response was it goes anyway, I'm not gonna lie that it is an issue for me, but he's gonna try and work on it.
Oh, Inspector, try not to kill as many. Don't try to kill too many people. Like I know you can, threaten them, but like just don't.
Oh, yeah,
I know
I've been
you tend to
doing
shoot
better
people.
about that.
Yeah. You have, which I like, but just make sure you always have that chip on your shoulder when you point your gun at a trooper. You're gonna try to shoot him. Just remember that.
Jim, you've been this on edge during events and everything. Now you've been a lot more get along with instead of your shouty self, which is good to get along with, especially when you're having a laugh at people even during an event when it's like could be serious, but you're having a laugh, which is making people like around you like you, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone just goes quiet.
I mean, I guess I can go next. Anyone give me any criticism? Honestly, I know. Obviously, I've been on lately. That could be one because due to personal reasons, I don't have time. But anything else that would help me would be great.
I think since you're having issues with being online, working on finding that exo that can be more active and help you in that would do good for the 187th.
187th is a tough regiment to lead because not a lot of people want to join it.
Purple squad.
It's the same with like the 327th. You almost have to have a good community with those ones because they're the lesser known.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I do have EXO in mind, but currently he has an LOA, I believe, or he lives in different countries, so it's hard for him to really get on sometimes. But I think most of Koran knows what I'm talking about, and our Spectre, it's an old member that currently joined back. Don't say his name because I don't want him to know yet. But yeah, he's definitely gonna be one in the future when we're both be able to be more active. So and he's gonna be on tonight, so I'll let him know probably.
Oh, nice.
So
What time?
Poland space. See.
Does anyone have anything for Thorn, myself, or 40?
How about me? Anyone have something for me?
Be better with
Stop being power hungry, please.
Stop complaining about your desk and your chairs.
Donate's better.
All right, but on a serious note, Braggy, there's really not much to complain or really criticize on because we can all see that you're trying your best to bring the file first back, but make sure that I don't know, I've obviously haven't been on lately, but from what I've seen, I've seen Insulin doing well, and I only saw him once this week, so I don't really have much to say about him, but just try to do more. I don't know if you have, but tryouts, like, just make sure your men are just more busybody in a sense, like they're doing something instead of just standing around, because if you give them time to think, they're just going to get off and it's not going to. It's happened to me in my regiment. Like I gave my 187 troopers too much time to themselves and to conglomerate and stuff like that. And now look at it, like half of them are gone, like half of them are MIA, half away. It's like, boy, that's just not going to work out in the future. But keep doing that, you'll find. I don't have any other really complaints or concerns about you because you're doing a good job.
Also, with that training, would basically give them a little incentive to get on. So like constant, like not like every moment you can training. If you want, you could, but just training in general, like like put it on your Discord that you're gonna do some training, this kind of training. Maybe if you need people to actually show up and do joint training, and maybe that could be some kind of incentive to get people to get on.
The only problem I have with putting a scheduled training is that usually not very many people show up because they're like, oh, it's training. I don't want to go to training. It's nonsense.
Those are the people you remove from the battalion.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you work on making it fun. I know we used to do a lot of simulations. We did some of the stuff that people hated. Some people hated certain stuff. Some people loved other stuff, and it's more of they stick around if you do the whole thing. But if you just only do the boring stuff, Then don't call it training.
Personally, I want to do more simulations. The problem is that I'm basically the only CO that's not staff, and I refuse to be staff because I wouldn't know the first thing about doing that job.
In those kind of
The
situations,
first
you
for
can,
everyone.
yeah, that's true. And one thing you
Yeah.
could do there is you could always count on us who are staff to help you out. Of course, I would take time out of my day to help you out. It would be no problem.
Yeah, me too, dude. I don't have a battalion to lead. I can do sims for you all day.
Yo, but Poseidon, I saw what you put in chat and that criticism. There's really nothing you can do about fleet, since fleet's a more harder thing to do, since it requires a lot of people with RP like management, and not a lot of people have that tolerance or interest in it. You're doing well for what you are right now. You know, you're trying to manage it, you're trying to fix it, trying to shape it what you want it to be. Nothing really to criticize. You're doing your best. Just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully the fruits of your labor will show. And that's really all I gotta say.
I will say that engineers need more brains. They have been placing barricades very poorly and running in front of people and stuff like that. It was especially more noticeable in the last deployment we had. It was a really short deployment, but we still had
A lot of bad names.
a lot of, well, there was that, but there was also a lot of bad deployment and communication
Any
when it came
names?
to that. From what I remember, it was Valen Hill.
Oh yeah,
He-
Valenhell's number one.
Yeah, he doesn't communicate very much. I don't know if it's because he's lacking a mic or something like that, but he just runs in front of people when they're shooting. He gets shot himself. I noticed it a lot because I was just continuously healing him and watching why he needed so much healing. It was because he's getting shot because he's running in front of people's barrels. He wasn't communicating, and and that goes a lot for medic for most engineers. I've also noticed Rafi does a good job because he communicates very well, and but most of the time, I think that when engineers are being recruited, that they should also be taught how to communicate that they're going to be putting down cover.
I think communication is something that every regiment can work on personally, because there's a lot of times where people are getting shot by friendlies because they aren't communicating when they're moving. I know I'll be in the middle of firing and 3 people will run past me and they'll just be silent.
Yeah, it's very annoying. One other thing I've noticed with Fleet is the structure is very wonky right now because you're the acting CO, but Tiger's a higher rank, and it's just that weird mixed signal that they're getting and how Tiger acts versus how you're acting. It's a big wonky area. Tiger acts like he's the CO even though he's not, not currently, and a lot of the Navy seem to think he is because he's the higher rank, or they are more interactive with him than they are you.
So for clarification, what is Tiger?
Tiger is basically the EXO at this point.
He's technically a higher rank than Poseidon, but he's lost a lot of trust because of that
Poseidon has more
stupid shit he
power.
tried to pull.
Yeah, I've heard about that situation. So
Or has all the power, rather.
do you guys think that that they should at least like maybe switch ranks, or at least Poseidon get a higher rank than Tiger to clear up that confusion?
I'd like to see that happen.
But
I would
Poseidon's
like to
also
see that
planning
happen as
to
well.
leave for RC when it comes out.
Right.
So he's trying to train up Tiger to retake the position and try to earn some of his trust back. So there's the little.
I mean, I will say this: Tiger, when he was before that little mishap and situation, he was trying. I could see it, but obviously, I wasn't there for the actual situation of what happened with Fleet and the uprising, you could say. But I do see that Tiger, when it was back then, he did try to make an effort, and he was putting a lot of effort into the server at the time, and he's continuing to do that slowly but surely. I feel like he will hopefully regain his renown back if he can.
With Tigers, he's good. He's a good at building that little community that we were talking about before. We just need to work on his view of the ranks. He's good at what he does. He's good communicator between. He's good at talking out situations, but he lets the idea of getting our fleet admiral get to his head.
Yeah, he's a good guy who made a dumb mistake, and that happens a lot, and he's paying
I
for
agree.
it. So
All right, how about myself? Anything you guys like to see me work on?
Oh, well, I think the fact that you're an EXO who's higher than most CEOs kind of speaks for itself.
I mean,
That's
there
probably
are
why.
some quirks that I have, not just mine, obviously. Things I've heard from not only my regiment but others. Minor things, but obviously can be fixed if just talked about and mentioned. One of them is how obviously you're a high EXO rank more than most of the COs, which is understandable with the things you do for the server. It's just that sometimes you go a little too above and beyond and try to, I don't know, go. I don't know. I don't want to say overstep your bounds, but you act a little edgy sometimes, and just really kills the mood of some people on the server. Take examples. Two of my guys. I know you were just joking around sometimes, but like when you were like, having those moments where we joking around, me and you, but they thought it was like, oh, is that really how it goes in the server? And they left and never came back. I was like, damn it. And then other moments were just like, you just try to be, have your little funny moments, which is awesome because, we have a good friendship. But then again, like people don't know it, and it's a misunderstanding. It just gets a little ugly to explain. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, so we have to
not
be
just
more of
not just the 187th, obviously other regiments too. Like take example, not the shock a while ago, not now because that's been resolved. Didn't have too many high views of 327th considering the members in there. But obviously that got better because we talked about it. And obviously, hopefully from this, people realize that me and Toron do not hate each other. We are good friends. I've known each other for a long time. And then any jokes you hear in the server are mostly, anything you hear that's offensive towards us is mostly jokes, mostly.
I was convinced otherwise.
But the one thing I do want to say,
goes with most of the COs joking about each other.
yeah, like one thing that maybe some people don't know is that most all the COs we talk and we're all chill together. There's no one who actually like despises anyone else that I'm aware of. But from what I know, everyone's pretty chill. Yeah, I don't mean if you guys do, you guys don't show it, and I think that's a better way of dealing with it. If you don't just say like, oh fuck you all the time, or at any time that I've seen, but it's always good to at least be able to communicate. Don't not being afraid of communication because you think that they don't like you. The COs do communicate, especially when we have to, because well, yeah.
A lot better than the server we were all previously on, if we all know.
God, no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
At least we're not at all each other's
No.
throats and we're actually communicating.
No.
We're not all trying to usurp each other's positions, which I like a lot more than that server.
Do not talk about that.
Back in the day, in another server I used to be on, it was ASG, Aftershock Gaming. It got to a point where the server was split into, like commanding officers got their battalions to basically support one half, and the other battalions on one other half. It was ridiculous. It was just like that, and that's how it was. We were used to anything else. It was just constant infighting in staff and in game, and it was just not a way to do things.
I think overall we do have that. This group is a much closer group, and yeah, anything that sounds like we hate each other, we really don't. Overall, we actually generally like each other. We hang out a lot of the times in our own discords and hang out after the game as well.
Has anyone got anything for 21st?
Gaz needs to be on.
Yeah.
Naz needs to be on.
Yeah.
That sounds like my only quirk. I have a lot of, 21st.
I thought Naz
Naz
was on
isn't even
LOA.
here.
I thought
Naz
Naz was
isn't
on
here.
LOA.
I'm just saying, 21st. Like some of you have some pretty good you guys have some okay troopers. You guys just need to focus a little more on being more serious during RP wise, not screaming in your mics. Controlling your.
Who have you talked to in the 21st that's screaming in his mic?
He's probably talking about Polinsky.
We're probably
Yeah,
I'm talking about like I have three 21st in my mind.
There were-
Polinsky was one of them, and two others.
Is it Lad
I'll tell
Squad?
you later. I'll tell you later, Lemon Party. But
No,
saying
because
that they need to control
Linsky
Yeah.
was kicked out the 21st.
There was a whole issue with
before
that the other
December.
day.
I'll tell you who I have an issue with in the 21st.
Is it Jorgen?
Yeah, he bitches all the time about
Yeah,
everything.
I'm
Yeah, I kicked
working on
Jorgen
that.
from 2027 like a couple months back.
I'm working on it.
One thing that confused me about Jorgen is that he was complaining about people like talking smack about 21st and how they don't do their job. And to go check it out staff wise, I was going to make sure no one was talking crap to him. I went to him and I'm like, is there a problem? Is someone talking crap to like defuse the situation? He's like, no, that was just for future reference. So what confused me there was why are you saying that if no one said anything yet?
Yeah, I mean, I always talk to him. I try and talk to him through Discord when he's not on the server, and I talk to him in the server because basically, whenever I see him going on about his life, I always ask him to stop because I'm like, not many people care about what's going on outside your life. Like, say something funny happens, yeah, you might want to tell your story, but when you're going around telling people to shut up, fuck off, and all that, I will slay you. I will slay you for that. I'm not gonna just say, yeah, stop it and carry on like it was nothing. I am gonna point out what it was. I mean, yeah, Jim, like the minute you said, I called him to the CEO, the office, and I said to him, just not shit talk anyone because it's annoying and it affects your perspective. It affects people's perspective of you and the world 21st. So of course it's like you'll have that trooper in your battalion that you have to work closely with. I mean, like 327th have got theirs and yada yada yada, and everyone's got theirs that they want to work closely with.
One thing I do want to say about ULAN party as a criticism is when you are in charge of an event or something like that, you're not very direct with your orders, and you don't. It's kind of hard to tell that you're in charge.
I lend leads a lot. Usually I take I think I just like to lend leads a lot and get people to give suggestions.
It kind of seems like you're questioning yourself sometimes with your orders. I feel like you should just be you're more confident in what you lead. If you make a mistake, of course, own up to it. But you learn by making mistakes, so you have to. I feel like you have to be more confident with yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, something we could do is we could put Lemon as the field officer more often than, say, the highest ranking officer.
Mm-hmm.
That gives the highest ranking officer time to work with his troops, and then gives that newer person more experience.
About officer ranks, though, is something that I've just had on my mind while we were doing this, is that a lot of the COs are just sitting at captain. Well,
right?
327.
4 months.
The XO is already past captain.
I did talk to Squirrel about that earlier today, and basically that went in accordance with him being on more. He needs to be seeing how you guys are, because his view of you guys while not being on the server is different from ours when we are on the server. And basically it's not really fair for people like Thorn, who's been sitting in one spot for such a long period of time, when he's making all these changes to fix what his regiment originally was making mistakes in, and he's not getting rewarded with that.
Hey man, I'm still a trial captain.
He and Riddick are the only people who can promote us, but how are they supposed to promote us if they never really?
They ain't on.
I don't blame Riddick as much because he's busy. He's actually like doing shit. Well,
yeah, Riddick is primarily
actually
developing
does
the server. When he's on his PC, he's doing things for the server.
In my opinion, I think we should all just be commanders by now. But...
Or what also needs to happen is Squirrel needs to put somebody else up there who can promote everybody.
I'm still salty about getting demoted, to be honest.
All in favor of all of us becoming commanders, say aye.
Oh yeah, come on for me.
Oh, there we go.
Coup d'etat. For me?
No,
Hell yeah.
No coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat.
Yeah, but going back to what you guys talking about during the events and how Lemon Party should be a field officer, I'm going to be the odd one out, and I say I disagree. Not because it's Lemon Party, but just in general for all XOs. I don't think a field officer is necessary. I think just making them a squad lead or a lead in the battle, but giving them more responsibilities will be more suited. Because if they become a field officer and they have every single responsibility in the field battle, then it would just be too overwhelming in my sense for a XO especially.
Well, they need that at first though, because there's a good chance that they're going to become a CO in the future.
I know. I'm just saying for now, like the first few, make him like just give him more responsibilities, like a squad CEO or like leading a squad instead of the whole server. In the future, when we know he's ready, then we can make him a field officer. But I haven't been on, so.
I mean, at the same time, when going off of that, sometimes it's trial by fire, and we don't know really where Lemon is. Where Lemon doesn't know exactly where he is. So putting him in that position where maybe even having somebody right next to him. So let's say 40 is also on. 40 is like the secondary, and he's ready to jump in if he needs to. But it's Lemon's show until that point hits.
I've done that before a few times for a couple COs.
For example,
And I mean, being in charge of a squad is a lot different than being in charge of the entire server. They're almost not comparable, in my opinion.
In a way.
In an event that happened a few days ago, it was kind of that situation. I knew I had to leave soon, and it was me and Lemon Party as the higher ranks. I put Lemon in charge for the time I put Lemon in charge for he was the basically commanding officer for the event, and I was secondary until I left. And one thing I did like Lemon Party was that you put out ideas, and you just asked for my opinion, which is totally fine. And if you needed advice, you came up to me and like, what do you think would be a better strategy for this? And again, for Tickle and Lemon Party, if you guys ever lead an event and is higher rank, don't be afraid to ask questions. I really appreciate that you were asking questions, Lemon Party, because it's one thing that being confident with your orders and just like straight up being confused. Because asking questions is always good. Again.
Yeah, I agree. It was just sort of a thing. The map was simple to navigate. It was just navigate the surface, move troops into the below, and then counter attack on the top. So it's sort of straightforward. It's not like it's not been ones where on maps that are confusing to walk around. For example, you walk into a room and then that leads to 5 other rooms, and you got to try and navigate each 5 rooms without one major force. You can sort of just maps that are easier for. I wouldn't say simpler, but they're easier to navigate. You can easily command on more efficient. I say more efficient, but the better to help people on. And that map specific that we was on has helped a lot. And of course, yeah, I asked you because asking you for what to do helped a lot. There's a point where I sent troops under and I had troops on top in a trench. I was like, should we counterattack on top? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. That would be what I'd do and everything, or what that would sound best. We did it and we successfully completed our mission and everything. It's just sometimes on things that are hard to understand. So if I've not been, if I don't fully understand, I say not fully understand, but if we're doing something and then I'm foreign into it, so here's all the here's 40 plus people, lead them in these 3 directions, and it's like, okay, that's a bit struggle at that point, and trying to keep contact with each individual group is sometimes a bit of a hard. So I agree with what Unlucky said, like minimizing what you have to deal with can sometimes benefit than giving you a maximum thing. I mean, yeah, obviously trial by fire, as you said, that. Yeah, that can be good, just not for everyone.
Agreed. I think the last one we still need to talk about is a good old 40 cal.
Who?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was just about to say, like,
who?
Yeah, because everyone out here has gotten criticism, but 40's the one we haven't
40's
talked
up.
about yet.
40's up.
Be on.
You need to get on.
Yeah, that's really been a problem for me. I haven't been getting on, and that is completely my fault. I don't have an excuse.
And
All I
for
have
when
to
you
say
on,
is I apologize, and I do appreciate the work Toron's putting in. I've noticed that he's doing a lot of the things that I have not been doing, and I appreciate that.
one thing also, when you did get on occasionally, Toron was still known for doing basically all the training. One thing I think you should also be doing is training so you can get a little closer to your boys.
With those trainings, though, 40 was the one who was setting up almost all the trainings. He was doing the work and he was there. The one thing he just needs to work on is being that voice.
Mm.
From what I've seen and personally being in your regiment, I'm not going to try to bash you. I'm just going to tell you the truth and what I've honestly felt while being in there. It's not supposed to be like something just being assholes, but the truth. I think you have a lot of potential to do even greater things as 327th commander. But I just want to ask you a question real quick before I go on. You know how obviously there are going to be some changes because Toron and other key members in the 327th is going to be potentially trying out for RSC. Yep. Are you going to continue being the 327 CO, and how will you really adjust to that diversity?
I'm leaning towards trying to see how I do as a CO still, but if it doesn't work out for me, then it always is an option to resign.
But in that case, then I think that obviously having that command presence when you're on the server when you are on is important because I'm not gonna lie, Torin has more of a presence when it comes to you. Not trying to be dicks from what I've
Yeah, I'm
seen
aware.
other people have told me, and what I've seen personally as a member. Honestly, just doing more like training with just you and your men, and having even Toron set up instead of you doing it all the time, which I respect you doing because your trainings are pretty good in the sense where it's actually like entertaining to do. Having just teach Toron to do that, or some other staff member do that, and instead of you making it and leading them. I mean, just setting up the sim up, you could do it yourself and lead them, and that'll honestly get you guys closer as a team instead of everyone getting closer to just Toron. You know, just taking the reins for yourself. You know, just leading your
Yeah, I
men through it
understand that.
together.
Alright.
And I think it's most important that you do that before RC comes out, because if RC comes out and then all of the people that are planning on going to RC do leave and go to RC, then you're going to start having a lot of problems.
Yeah, I'm aware.
RC probably isn't coming out for at least another 2 months anyway, so.
Riddick doesn't even have a time frame of when it can come out, so we'll see.
But he's Riddick's more concerned with the people who are trying out for it, which is a lot of them are the higher ups, and they're all trying to go for it. And he's worried about how that's going to impact the server.
Who couldn't blame him though? Things have been stagnating for so long. It'll be great to finally have something to work towards. I mean, like you said, only person who's really been getting promoted are Toron and 40s. It's not like we have anything to work towards.
Yeah, especially with Squirrel not being on as much before and the promotions not happening. You just remain stagnant and you're looking for that new thing to do, new exciting bit.
Yeah, I mean, COs don't really have any goals right now to be able to that they can realistically achieve. Like, yeah, you want to be a commander? Good fucking luck, dude. See you in like 2 years.
I'm a trial captain.
Exactly.
I've made a few empty
Why, hello there,
recommendations for
Trouser.
promotions that have been filled.
I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I want a promotion. I'm a fucking trial captain. I mean, I've been a trial captain for like what, less than a month or something like that. My only problem is still that's that system where we're getting all our buffs. And has anyone ever gotten anything that's changed, or is it still coming out?
Should be coming out today. Should be today.
Rick during the last meeting
21st
said
of fire
he would
resistant.
try to get it out tonight if he wasn't feeling like death because of the flu.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing. Thorn, Riddick mentioned that your ship was coming soon. What do you plan on doing with that ship?
Mainly just prison flying. Yeah, no, we're gonna drive. We're driving going to water. It's our underwater ship. No, but
Seems about right.
it's mainly just prisoner transports. So say we get someone, we're not gonna put them in the lat. We'll put them in the ship, take them back up to the vendor. Yeah, pretty much that.
How would
Just
it
moving
work on
prisoners.
like deployment? Would that like affect it?
Well, I suppose if you've been, sorry to type you, I suppose if you've been deployed to another part of the planet, you'd be literally flying the ship back in and then landing and then escorting into whatever your makeshift prison is. I suppose that's how it would tickle.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's really just gonna be. It's not gonna be. How do I put it? It's not gonna. It's really just gonna be moving prisoners. So like events. The one thing that we've had is when we're moving a prisoner, we'll just like put them in the lat with everyone else, and it's really really weird and annoying. But
everyone's just staring at the prisoner.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to
Make
do
things look a little
prisoners,
bit.
or are you also going to include VIPs?
It's you. Well, it depends on the VIP, I guess. Because usually VIPs would be on an NU class shuttle. They're a little bit better for that. But
let's say
the siege. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
let's say the situation that happened earlier with the ARC trooper, which was Tiger that I know of. Like, let's say it was a search and rescue, and we found a VIP, which was the captain ARC. Would he be going on that ship for extraction?
So the ship itself is it's pretty small, and it's more of it's used to find and bring back to like in roughly the same area. How to put it? I mean, yeah, you could use it if you need to get someone out quick. They're pretty fast ships.
Quick question: could you see shock being used, like that being used for shock missions, like stuff like on the event server where you guys are like deployed somewhere quickly to extract someone or like get someone?
Never got to do an event well besides Jedi, but we never got to do one. The one time we did, the server crashed before we even joined. So yeah, it'd be cool if we got to do that.
Or like maybe during a main event, like you guys Shock get the side task, because I just see Shock not really having anything to do like during events, like they're just being a bulk like main group, and it would be cool like having Shock having like maybe a side objective to grab like a prisoner or something.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool, but we're from time to time, not every time, but the main thing we like to do is really just like protect an objective or just have like a a goal to do either protect. Shock are usually very either defensive or if it is an offensive, it's like very planned out. We're going into a building to get this prisoner or capture this person. We're not like assaulting a base or anything like that very often. So yeah, it'd be cool to go. Say we're gonna go into a building. The main objective is to destroy this base, but there's also a prisoner, maybe either a Republic prisoner that's been kept there, or a CIS, maybe not a general, but higher up that we need to bring back. That's maybe on the low down.
What you could do is you have to get approved from like higher ups. Having you guys being able to act independently with your own ships. Let's say we do get that VIP or that prisoner, and let's say 104th search and rescue, they get the hostage out, and you're like, all right, we need to get this guy out of here. Then you and Hound, both being staff, are able to get that ship in and fly it over and get that person out without having to bog down another game master.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as it's what the game master wants to. That's another thing. We've had. I don't want to call Spectre out because it wasn't his fault at all. But and we were talking about it. But there was a prisoner that we were interrogating, and it was going really, really good. And then the GMs decided, you know what? We don't want to bring the prisoner back to the Republic. We're just gonna have Spectre walk in and kill him.
Because I'm the designated executioner.
Even though we needed him still, but maybe making it so if we get a prisoner, we don't just kill them every time because, there's rules. There's rules about that.
I completely agree. Our more of our situations have been more kill the hostage taker than save the hostage.
Oh, can I say something about that?
Completely opposite. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I offered to do some training for hostage negotiation. I very much am against about shoot first or like think about killing the hostage taker first. I absolutely disagree with that technique. I think that the main priority should always be getting the hostage alive and not thinking about how are we gonna kill this dude. Like I know it's the way that Squirrel wanted it to be mostly, and I completely disagree. I feel like that's not something that how it would normally go down. Like 99% of the time, like we have to get the hostage out first by all means. Sure, you guys can do the whole plant of bombs on a ship or something like that. That's perfectly fine, but it's just like the people around the area should not be thinking, how are we gonna shoot this dude when he comes down? Like you should be trying, because the whole thing about negotiations is that you have to make them feel like they're in power. They're gonna get what they want. They're gonna get away with it in a way. Like you have to make them feel that sense of security, or it's the negotiations are gonna be tense, and the hostage is gonna be even more in danger if the hostage taker is tense and very anxious for someone to shoot him.
Well, plus the hostage taker might have more hostages somewhere else. If you kill them, then you have no idea where they are. There's been times where the hostage taker has like an explosive device rigged to them. If their heartbeat goes under a certain amount, they'll explode or explode something else. There's a lot of other I guess aspects that you need to keep in mind, and your whole ideal of that is perfect, and hopefully that'll continue to happen.
It's much more risky to do that. It's a lot less risky if the hostage taker gets away than trying to kill the dude.
Can I say something?
Trying to kill the dude's so much more fun though. It's like a puzzle. How do we kill this dude without killing the hostage?
How do we kill this dude?
Can I say something about it though? What if it's like a target that's mainly on killing it? Wouldn't it depend on situations where you have to take down the hostage taker? Or like, what if there's a need to take him down? as if they get away or something happens, you basically mess something up, or like you just have to take them down. What if
Well,
it's a
there's-
situation like that? Shut up,
It-
Corny.
I mean, it's all situational.
Yeah, but there's ways
Sometimes
that you
you'll
don't
have to kill
to
them.
just because the whole fact that they could escape is you make it so there's no way they can escape, and then you don't have to worry about them, I guess, escaping. If you worry about before going into the situation that there's no possible, like, the entire area around that area is secure, so that one, no other people are going to come into the hostage negotiation and stop you from, like, your rear, or the fact that he could escape. If you have everything secure, he has no option, and then you just electrocute him and fall him on the ground.
For example, yeah, because most of the time the hostage taker is going to be smart enough to realize that he's going to need a contingency plan. For example, this is a show reference. That when Cad Bane took the senators for Zero the Hutt, he had a contingency plan. He got away clean because he knew he had a plan.
Cad
So,
Bane
odds
shouldn't
are-
be used as the example though, because he's intelligent, much more intelligent than most people are.
That's fair, but still, I mean, you have to benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt.
Next one could be Cad Bane, just saying.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
So basically, the way I want to do hostage negotiations is just the least amount of casualties and make sure everything goes smoothly instead of having the possibility of botching it.
Yeah, so basically, don't pull a spec knots and pump the place full of gas.
Exactly.
Fuse the room. Fuse the room.
So that's what I want to say about hostage negotiations.
I think 104 should get like tasers, like in some
No.
cases.
No,
No.
tasers, no, tasers, get them out of here. No,
I don't want
Disgusting.
104 with tasers.
no,
Oh god.
no. Like,
That would be interesting.
all right, Shock or Thorn, can I just say something?
I don't
Please
care.
talk to
Go
Shock.
ahead. I don't like our tasers.
Just can you tell them not to think of tasers as the
Oh,
solution
yes.
to every situation?
I know.
Like,
Right.
like
Uh,
there was a situation and Shock were just like, can we tase him?
This happened twice. The whole situation. There was a hostage situation with 40.
my
and,
God.
that
I got pretty
that
mad.
they think about tasing first. And also there's another time where we're getting infiltrated. I forgot why or what it was about, and we're just running trying to get to the location. And the one thing I hear from a Shock is, "Can I tase him?" That should not be the first instinct. Tasing is for arresting, and please tell him not to arrest them as well, like on ship.
Yo, Thorn, is Jackson still in shock?
Really, I already took away his taser, but he's really inactive, so don't have to worry
Okay.
about
I
him.
took his taser.
Because
No,
I'm pretty sure he was the dude that I shot in the face because he tried to arrest me for opening the side bay
Yeah.
door.
He was being an idiot.
He was like, "Yeah, you open it again, I'm gonna arrest you. Like, you try to arrest me, I'm gonna shoot you."
But one thing with the tasers, though, I really wish we get these other ones. I don't remember where they came from. They were just on this one server, but it was like, it's very skill based, and you had to hit the person with these two prongs, and then you had to. But just because you hit them doesn't mean they're just gonna be tased. So like, if you make a mistake, you're not gonna tase the wrong person. You have to then hold the left mouse button, and it'll go for a certain duration, and then but they don't like fall on the ground. Like, I always think that's weird how they just fall on the ground. Like, I don't know, it's weird, the ragdoll, how it looks. But it just kind of freezes the person. I don't know where that one is, and knowing Riddick, nothing will get changed, but it would be nice.
Back on Revival servers, which is the Halo RP server that I play on a little bit, to arrest people, you need to be able to handcuff them first. Just hitting people with a arrest baton won't do
Yeah,
anything.
that's what they do in Dark RP.
I've been waiting for handcuffs since the second day the server came out, so apparently they're broken.
I don't think they're broken.
They're not.
Can I just say this? Can tasers just be like used a little bit less in all combat situations? 'Cause I'm
They shouldn't
pretty
I don't
sure-
think they should be.
They shouldn't be used in
shouldn't be used at
combat.
all.
It can't be
They
used at
shouldn't.
all. I remember I saw one Shock just running with a stun stick into a battle.
That's the
It's
problem.
like, I can do this.
He was just a Chad, honestly.
I've seen a Shock run towards a Darksaber wielder in, I think it was 5 and first training and Shock training, and they modified the great battle all close quarters, and the Shock decided, you know, it's going to be good. to get this one dark saber user, and he pulled out his stun button and started running up to the dark user, started hitting him with it. Of course, it's training, but when you look at it from like a point, if you just walk in, you see someone hitting a dark user with a stun button, it's like, what the fuck?
Hey, use every tool at your disposal, alright?
I remember a shot.
I mean, I was out of ammo one time, so I pulled out my stun stick and I killed 3 droids, so I was pretty happy about
I mean,
that.
if you're out of ammo, that's one thing, but if you're going to that for the first weapon to use,
Oh god,
there's
no,
a
they
problem.
shouldn't be doing that.
I'm pretty sure I ran out of ammo and did that once.
I had someone complain to me about there should be like a melee option. Like some guy was
Yeah,
saying
no.
he had like fists or something. I don't know, but
I wouldn't come.
All I think of is the movie episode from the Clone Wars, with the droid punches the I think it was a B2, maybe a B1, and he like breaks his fists and then just gets killed.
Yeah.
Battle Christophsis, the guy who just runs out.
Yeah, that was like
What
the
a
first.
fucking
episode.
idiot.
It makes no sense that Cody did like the same thing and killed like 3 of them though.
Well, Cody was smart and used his gun as a freaking club. He didn't just straight up punch a steel jaw.
Nah, if you think about the 21st,
I remember about Kara made.
All right, guys, let's work on wrapping this up. Is there anything else you guys want to
Alright.
close on?
I need to see my captain more.
There's a
Think we
good
all need to
captain
see
in
your
LOA,
captain
though?
more.
Yeah, he's on the line. He's been on the line since last Tuesday.
Training with Jedi.
I mean, they're all
Okay.
regimental now, so you should be doing training with your regimental Jedi anyway.
If
I still
anybody's
want a
joined.
regimental Jedi.
More doing training.
Oh, you know what? Fuck Naz, okay? You're basically the captain right now.
Jesus Christ.
I don't sugarcoat things, dude. It's pretty much your decision at this point.
Me and Braggy both went into a kind of situation like that.
I
At
did.
this point, you probably have basically full reign of the battalion until, like, yeah.
I
you
mean, if your
basically have
CO
full
goes
reign of the
on
battalion.
LOA, then you are essentially the commanding officer of the battalion.
He came on yesterday, apparently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but he didn't move.
I have
He did.
no
He
idea.
came on at around 9 to 10 p.m. He was doing training with Toron and some other 327th that wanted to join RC.
He was basically a fucking vegetable, dude. Like for the first 3 hours, he was fucking stood there.
All right, thank you guys for coming, and do this again next time.
Alright.